Oh, you are live, and I haven't seen that before.
Okay, you have to make a funny face. Too late.
Beard 12.0. How many? You know, I don't know which beard version I've got. I'm gonna let it come in back in.
I think you look better without it. You look much younger.
Do it?
Oh yeah,
Well,
the old
yeah, of
gray
course I do.
beard,
Hmm.
the old gray beard thing.
What? Come on, it's not
What?
true.
You've got a gray beard. Are you
I know.
denying that?
Yeah. Now I can see it.
You look younger without a gray beard. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but it's like I don't know. Just got a lot of real estate down here without a beard. I
Yeah,
don't
they're
know.
called cheeks. Everyone's got them, Craig.
Well,
I'm
it's
not
not that
sure what point you were making with that
Well,
statement.
it's not that I really hate the beard, hate having a beard. It did get a little old. It's funny because it starts getting a little old right around Labor Day weekend. So, which I shave it because I'm doing fry, um, during the weekend. And then I'm like, yeah, it's getting colder. I'm thinking about growing the beard back. So
Oh, and it gets so cold in South Carolina. Don't
it
don't
can
use
for a
the
while.
cold as an excuse.
Oh no, it can be cold. It can be cold for a while.
We have another wonderful thumbnail.
I bet we do. Let me go. Open that up. So no, I don't mind it. I actually like, and you know what's funny is I thought I've only had a beard a few times, but then I was like, wait a minute. I look back at my pictures. I've had a beard more than often. More than I thought. It's kind of funny. Last year, it's probably the longest I've ever had it.
What does Kim say?
She said she likes it. So,
All right.
but
That's the
and then
most important vote.
she also follows it up with, "It's your face." I'm like, uh huh. Well, so I'm like, what does that mean? So it's nobody's pleasure but mine. How about that? So
Well, she's gotta endure the prickly face when you kiss her.
yeah, she says she likes it. She says fine with it. So, and it's funny because I swear I don't think about having it, but I go back in my pictures. I'm like, I've actually had a beard several times. Um, One of the older ones, which this showed up in my Facebook memories. One of my Facebook friends, uh, Krista Gavalis, old she was an old girlfriend of one of my friends. I'm sitting there with her and another friend June and one of my old neighbors Jesse, and
Mhm.
we're at a bar it's called the Money in Rock Hill, and this is probably in '91 or so. And she shared that picture again on Facebook, and I looked at it and I was like, oh man, I had a beard then. So I did.
Now, a beard at 20?
Mhm.
Oh, you would have been like 22. Isn't quite the same as a beard at 52.
You didn't like the beard, or you didn't like it? You
I didn't see your 22-year-old beard.
Oh, well, let me show let's pull it
No.
up. How
No,
about
let's not. We have a podcast to do right now. This is not the beard show.
no, Imma pull it up. Hold on a second.
All right, you do that. I'm gonna get started making a podcast because that's what these people came here to see.
Nah, they didn't care. They don't care.
Yeah. Wow, way to diss the audience.
No. I would never diss the audience. I would never diss them.
All right, John Miller Jr., let us know if you wanna see this bearded picture of
Alright,
Craig or you'd rather get the podcast
here you
going.
go. Imma share my screen. Share not slides. Share screen, window. Alright. So I'm gonna share when here, I'll zoom in a little bit. I don't know if you can you see me?
Hello, ladies.
There you go. There's Krista. There's Jesse. There's June. And I recognize this guy, but I don't remember his name.
But look, your hair was different, you had more hair.
You know what?
It it
Okay.
it was
Well,
it was a it's a different time, man.
it was a totally different time. I mean, I had a Miller Genuine Draft. They don't even make that anymore, I don't think. But,
Not that I want one anymore.
yeah, I know. Well, the thing about my hair is this is at the tail end of a perm, which uh, I was dared to get, which I did. I
See,
did. I got
that's a good-looking young man.
not bad. But yeah,
But
see, I had
growing
the
a
beard.
beard does not make you a good-looking young man.
I'm not saying I'm trying to look young. I'm not trying to look young.
And that was pre-marriage too, so you gotta account for that.
Oh, that was way before Kim. That's probably about 10 year. Yeah, see, actually, Chris, I even put on here fall of 1990. So that was about 8 years before I met Kim, 7 years, something like that. We've been together for 20-ish, 25 years. So yeah, something like
Alright.
that.
Now can we make a
Anyway,
podcast?
sure. We can always make a podcast.
Alright. Hitting record button in 5, 4, 3. Technorama episode 687. Then it hit me. Ow! Hello and welcome to Technorama. This is the show that takes a lighthearted look at tech, science, sci-fi, and all things geek. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome aboard. If you are returning, welcome back. That was easy enough. Wow.
Yeah, that's
I'm
right.
batting 1,000 or 100 or whatever you bat so far
Okay.
for the show. My name is
Good.
Chuck Tomasi, in case you're wondering,
No,
and
I was trying to figure out who I was talking to.
I'm from Phoenix, Arizona. And right there is Craig Stepp. Where are you from?
South Carolina. All day
Okay.
long. All day long. You want to fight about it?
We can probably take down the banner that says pre-show. We've
Oh,
actually
yeah.
started now.
Here, I'll turn it off. I got
If
it.
you're just listening, you missed our pre-show banter about growing beards.
Yeah. You know what's funny is speaking of I was talking about I mentioned earlier about how far back I was looking at my pictures and how many iterations of my beard I've actually had.
Oh boy.
Which was
Is
funny
getting
because I
is
go,
that
"Oh,
is
I've
that
had a
like what do you call that? Beard nostalgic or something?
beard nostalgic." No, well, I was talking about how I've had I thought in my mind I'm thinking I had about 3 or 4 beards and then I'm like, "Wait, looking back in my pictures. No, no, no. I've had it several times. It's come and gone, and I'm gonna let it come back. So if you see stubble tonight, that's what it is. It's coming back.
It's called a 5 o'clock shadow or a long
Hey,
weekend.
now you'll think this is funny. Speaking of looking back, I was poking around on Reddit, and I was in the podcasting subreddit,
Yep.
and they were like, "What was the question? How many podcasts?" Oh, 90% of podcasts have only posted like 6 or 7 shows.
That sounds reasonable.
Yeah, it was something like that. I'll have to go pull it up for you later,
So
but
we're making up for
I
yeah.
was like and there were people going, "Hey, I'm posting episode number 24 tonight. I'm posting episode 20. I'm going for number 14." I was like, "I'm going for 687."
And we're not even like among those really high people. You get to Brian Ibbett and he's like 1,800 or something
Well,
ridiculous.
he's done multiple a week, for
Yeah.
lots of time. And for a while there, we did multiple 2 shows. Well, at first we did 2 shows a week. Then we did a voicemail show and
Yep.
a podcast.
Yep.
And so we're more in the 1000 era, but our episode numbers don't really reflect that. That's why. So, but yeah, and we've been doing the Patreon show, which
So we're
yeah,
like that couple at the wedding. They say, how many people have been married, 1 year or 10 years? Are we that couple that's been like 75 years?
yeah, yeah.
Come
We've been
dance with me, Craig.
no, we're that couple that's been together for 75 years, but only been married for like 17.
This show's going in a totally different direction than where
Right.
we planned.
Yeah, John Miller Jr. I think we skipped episode 666. Did we not? I can't remember if we did or not.
I don't remember.
No,
I mean, it
I
was
thought about
only
skipping it just for just for the
it was
sake of
sometime in
skipping.
2022.
Yeah,
All right, should
probably.
we do the feedback thing?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, we enjoy your comments, so we play them now.
Letters. Oh, we got letters. Letters every day. A, B, C, D.
Mailman, mail today. Read
Retread and pull. I got an F. What?
Those letters, I love those letters.
You got an F in school, maybe.
Oh boy!
Mailman, mail today.
All right, we had a question of the week for you. We're going to start there. Our question of the week for you last week. Sorry, that was a little loud while I was talking. I got to learn to, bring the music down when there's voices happening. Our question last week was, what villain was terrifying when they were right? And we got a number of responses. Oh, my goodness.
Why am I not seeing all of them?
Well, okay. I was scrolling through a chat. Wrong window.
Oh, yeah. Wrong window. Okay. Well, we got a couple of responses. So John
We
Miller Jr.
did.
says Killmonger from Black Panther, which
Mhm.
I really like Killmonger. Yeah, he was one of those those bad the villains rather that thought he was doing the right thing for himself for everybody. Yeah, that was a good one. Not just Thanos. I'm glad everybody didn't throw out Thanos. And he said the Joker from The Dark Knight.
Nobody threw out Thanos. We only had 2 responses, but
You see, Thanos. I mean, that's an easy one because he thought he was doing the right thing for the universe. So yeah. Stephen Weshy says Squidward from SpongeBob SquarePants. Dude just wants to live his life, but his neighbor is a tool and won't let him be. Yeah, that's true.
is Squidward really a villain, though? I don't know if I'd put him in that category of villain.
Yeah, he's a little bit. Barely.
Steve Lennon says the replicants in Blade Runner. Ooh, there's an interesting perspective.
That was a really good observation there, Steve. Because yeah, they really thought they were trying to preserve themselves. They thought that they were people too.
Yeah, well, that was a survival. Were they the
Mhm.
villains though? I thought the villains were really more the
Well, they're
the
being
Blade
chased
Runners
down.
themselves. Is like, hey, you're going and wiping
Yeah.
out these robots.
I don't know if I'd say villains, but they were kind of being chased down. Well, they were murderers, weren't they? So that's
The
why he was
replicants
looking.
were murderers?
Was that? Am I not right?
Only under duress, though. I mean, as a matter of
Mhm.
survival,
Yeah.
it's
So
either
yeah,
kill or be killed in that situation. So
actually, that's a good response. That's a really good response.
yeah, you can make a whole episode around that one. He
Wait,
also says
Go-
Gollum, he was in the right. Bilbo Baggins was a thief. Like, well, well,
wait a minute, because Gollum actually stole it from his brother. Was it his brother or cousin?
no,
They were fishing
he
together,
found it.
huh? No, they
His
were both
brother
fishing
found it?
together. His cousin got it, and he killed his
That's right.
cousin. He killed his cousin or his brother. He killed his cousin or brother for it, and they took it, and that's when he started becoming Gollum. So, and this in the Hobbit, So yeah, who was in the right?
Sauron.
I'll, sorry. I'll let Steve respond to that. There you go.
The world needs a purge. Sauron and Thanos should get together sometime and have coffee.
Right. Here you go.
Thanos could have doubled the resources in the universe. He was not right. Yeah, but that wouldn't have made for a very good movie. And how do you actually, if it's an overpopulated planet, how do you double the resources? You go, more corn.
Yeah.
Where's the corn has to grow somewhere.
Hey, I could just see a little planetoid, all of a sudden corn. Yeah.
Looks like a popcorn ball.
Yeah. Poof. Yeah.
If Craig were Thanos, things would have been different, I'm sure.
Yeah. Here you go. Mike Robeson asks, how old are you in podcast years? Boy, I think for every podcasting year, it feels like 8 years instead of like
Hundreds.
7 for dog years.
Hundreds. All right, I do have a follow-up on that mystery email we got last week about the part motor thing that was being repaired.
Right. What happened?
You had suggested, hey, ask for pictures.
Yeah.
So I did.
Oh no, I don't think I saw that. Was I on that?
No, why
Okay.
would you be on my support message?
Oh, I
I'm
don't
getting
know.
support for this thing.
Okay.
So
All right, fine.
I said, how about some pictures? So Bonnie writes back and says, thanks, Chuck. We've had the louvers thoroughly cleaned, and it's possible that we are seeing more sunlight as a result of clean louvers. Okay. I it's still not able to picture what the heck
You're
is going
seeing
on.
more sunlight?
We want to keep our communication open with you, though in the event that this mirage may instead still be that the louvers are not properly sealing themselves. Right now, Hank is waterproofing the motor. I'm not sure if that's a thing you're supposed to do or waterproofing the motor. Okay. This is where the clue came in as to what the heck we're talking about.
All right.
She goes on to say, the Equinox louvered roof has been at the forefront of our concern this summer, as we don't want to have this new motor go badly as we did the first one. So immediately, what does nerd here do? Looks up Equinox louvered roof, and it's kind of like a pergola. You know what like a pergola is, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a
It's kinda
patio
like
that basically has boards across it instead
Yeah.
of like a roof. Well, this is like a louvered version of that. So the motor opens and closes those. Like, aha, now I know what we're talking about. I don't know how they're repairing this whole thing without, sending it in, sending it back, the motor, the arm, the louvers.
Actually,
Not interested, but
I've
curious as
never
to how
seen
I
a
got on here.
I've never seen a motorized pergola roof like that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Okay. She says, we're thinking about how to best protect the entire system during Northwest winters. Soon we will find a box to ship the old motor that cannot be retracted. Bottom line, we will be back in touch if rain finds its way through the louvers. As you may know, the summer has been the driest in Seattle history. Right now, the Equinox system remains unchallenged by rainfall. More will be learned as fall settles in. In that case, the pictures will come your way. So I finally broke down and I said, Bonnie, I have to admit, I'm a bit confused by your email. I
Oh,
don't own an Equinox and don't live in the Northwest. You may want to check your records to ensure that the email address you have for this particular repair is correct. I wouldn't want to be the customer who sent it in and didn't get the appropriate communications.
right. What
So
did they reply?
not yet. I just sent
Okay.
that one a couple hours
Oh,
ago.
I see. Actually, you know
Like,
what? I'm looking at this. I always thought a pergola was pretty cool, but I've never seen louvered roof like this. This is
that's a great design, isn't it?
it is. I'm watching this animated GIF
Now
thing.
Greg wants one, but hey, watch out. Those louver motors could go bad on you. You might want to waterproof them.
I know. I need a little like chain, to close them out. It actually looks pretty cool. I'm intrigued. Okay. All right.
So a little more insight. I still have no idea how they got a hold of me. This is like the Chuck at chucktomasi.com email address they were sending it to. Like, what? How, oh,
Yeah. That's funny.
maybe somebody I don't know. It's not like, there's a Chuck Tomaso
Well,
at gmail.com out
so
there that they mistyped.
so tune in next week to see what the response was.
Maybe we'll get some pictures.
That's
Which,
funny.
yeah, pretty soon something's going to show up on my doorstep. Here's your Equinox. Like, where am I putting this?
Yeah. Hey, we should get him on the show and interview him. What do you do?
No. Well, the email address that they had, I won't reveal it here, but I looked for a website with that domain suffix, whatever.com.
Yeah.
Got a 504, times out. They don't
Oh,
have a website. I'm like, what? Yeah, this is getting weirder. So I'm gonna throw in the towel at this point. Go, your
okay.
records are whacked.
Paul Mackey says, waterproofing the motor. Is that what the kids are calling it these days? Who knows? I don't know. Who knows?
Let's move on from the feedback, shall we?
Yeah.
Another letter from our listener, Dave.
Entertaining to the last, we hope. On this day in history for September 28th, 2022, this is the 271st day of the year in the Gregorian calendar. Whew, so long, September. There are 94 days remaining in 2022. It was
Get your
on this date in 1066 that William the Conqueror landed in England, beginning the Norman Conquest. Hey, Norman!
September 28th, 1542, Juan Rodriguez Cabrillo of Portugal arrived at what is now San Diego, California. He is the first European in California and promptly tried to reserve a table at a restaurant.
He couldn't do it, though. It's unfortunate that someone from Portugal landed in San Diego because so many people there speak
Well,
Spanish.
An open table wasn't invented yet.
If a Spaniard had landed there, he wouldn't have had a problem.
Right.
All right.
Your
Where
turn.
are we
Your
on the next
turn.
one? It was also on this date in 1889 that the General Conference on Weights and Measures, the CGPM, defined the length of a meter.
As what?
It's about a meter long. Just
Okay.
go with it.
It's a meter long. 110 years ago today, Corporal Frank S. Scott of the United States Army became the first enlisted man to die in an airplane crash.
Now,
Wow.
I like that qualification. The first enlisted man. Was there an officer
Yeah.
that died first? I'm sure there were many civilians that died.
110 years. I guess it had to be kind of
Something like
limited, to be honest with you,
1912.
but yeah, you're right.
Okay. It was also on this date in 1924 that the first aerial circumnavigation was completed by the team from the U.S. Army.
And it was 94 years ago today that Alexander Fleming noticed the bacteria killing mold growing in his laboratory, discovered what was later become penicillin.
Notice how this bacteria is dying when this particular mold gets involved.
Yeah, let me just spread it
What
around.
does it mean? Also on September 28, 1951, CBS made the first color televisions available for sale.
Wow.
Ooh. Only the product was discontinued less than a month later. We
Color
have no
TV?
color content. No one's buying these things.
Well, how did I get mine? I don't know. Falcon 1 became the first privately developed liquid fuel ground launched vehicle to be put in to put a payload into orbit by the RatSat mission on this date in 2008. But I was gonna say I remember Salvage 1. Remember they went to the moon. They brought stuff back, I guess.
Wasn't RatSat that group with Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin,
RatSat.
Sammy Davis Jr.?
And then later on we had the BratSat in the
Oh, no.
90s.
When they die,
80s.
they send their ashes up to space on a RatSat. Okay, that's what it is. Happy birthday goes out on this day to Chinese teacher, editor, politician, and philosopher of the spring and autumn period of Chinese history. Have you figured it out by this point? It would be Confucius's birthday. He was born in 551 BC.
All right. Apologies to this French astronomer, but and mathematician Ishmael Bolidalius was born on this date in 417 years ago today.
Trust me, we have more, and they're mostly French.
Oh,
So
great.
we'll just keep
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Prosper Mérimée, the French archaeologist, historian, and author, was born 219 years ago today.
Henry Moissan. Moissan.
Henri Moissan.
Henry Moissan was born, French chemist and academic, Nobel Prize laureate, was born on the same date in 1852.
Ooh, I got a British one this time. British astronomer and meteorologist Isis Pogson was born 170 years ago today. And back to the French.
And Paul Ulrich Villard was the French chemist and physicist, was born 162 years ago today.
Let's try one that's Austrian this time.
Yeah.
Hilda no, it's Gei, so it'd be Geiringer. Okay. Hilda Geiringer was, or something like that. The Australian mathematician. She was born today in 1893.
An American TV host, Ed Sullivan. Oh, I'm sorry, we're not French.
If it's LL, it's like guillotine, right? Or
Yeah,
tortilla.
Sullivan. That's right.
Sullivan.
Sullivan.
Sullivan. Ed Sullivan.
Was born on this date in 1901.
I heard he had a really big shoe.
Yeah, two of them.
No, he only had one. the Ed Sullivan Show.
Right.
American broadcaster, founded CBS, William S. Paley was born 120 years ago today.
An American spy. We won't talk about this, but Ethel Rosenberg was born on this date in 1915.
Yep. Ethel and her husband giving the Russians the secrets to the atom bomb. Martin David Kruskal, the American physicist and mathematician, was born on the same date in 1925.
Seymour Cray. Can you guess what he did?
Yes. He invented videos so you could see more Cray.
He invented the calculator.
Yeah.
No, he invented the American computer. He was an American computer scientist who founded the Cray Computer Company, was born 97 years ago today.
That was one of those demo accounts. Anytime you have to make up a username, you see more video.
Yeah.
American singer, songwriter, and producer Ben E. King, a man who will stand by me, was born 84 years ago today.
And American mathematician and academic Rhonda Hughes was born on this date in 1947.
Here comes the end of the song. Also turning 66 today is Colombian Italian mathematician and author Martha Isabel Fandino Pania. Whew, that was a lot of hard
Wow.
names. Let's just do some easier ones. Hold on.
Yeah. No kidding.
Listener birthdays this week include October 1st, aka 10-1 or 101. You know, you could do that, the month, day, year thing, and it would still work with this guy.
Huh. Yeah, that's
It's
right.
101 and Stephen Weshy's birthday from St. Louis, Missouri. And he even gave us a phonetic. Thank you very much. Pronounced like the first part of wet and the word she.
I prefer Wishy.
Right.
Yeah. I know.
October 2nd is Adam Rumpke. So happy birthday to both of you. And if it's your birthday this week and you're not on the calendar, well, we recommend that you get on the calendar. How do you do that, Craig?
You go to this address, and oh crap, there you go. Had to,
Well-oiled machine.
yeah.
Chuckchat.com/birthday and get your name on the birthday calendar. We wish
Right.
you a wonderful birthday, even if you're not on the calendar and it's your birthday this week, or if it's one of your loved ones.
Hey,
That's the way it was. I got to finish the thing.
oh,
Okay,
I'm
hold on.
sorry. Go ahead and
That's
finish.
the way it was on this day in history for September 22nd. No, not 22nd, 28th, 2022. Got too many twos in there.
Yeah. I was gonna say I just looked up. I was curious to see if Cray Computer were actually still around, and actually they're
No.
a subsidiary of Hewlett Packard.
Yeah, but they never did anything with it.
Yeah, it's amazing because I
So is Apollo.
always thought they were
So
on
is
the.
digital.
Well, I always thought that they were like a Cray Computer. They were on the forefront, and all of a sudden, oh, they merged and they're a
We
subsidiary of.
saw one at the Computer History
We
Museum.
sat on one.
Yes, it was a Cray 1 or Cray 2 that had the bench around the outside of
Yeah,
the circular thing.
it actually looked like the MCP from Tron. It goes down and there's like a bench
Kind
around
of.
it. Yeah,
Although the MCP didn't have this nice little bench for you to sit on.
not exactly.
I need to rest my weary foot bones. It's been a long
Yeah.
day of moving programs in and
Oh,
out of the I/O
my
tower.
bits are barking. Oh, let me sit down. Nah, but yeah, it kind of looked like that. It's a big centerpiece, and then it had like a bench around it, which was
Yeah.
interesting. I thought, why would they put that on there? But I don't know.
I'm waiting for you to say something interesting that I can use as a segue, but never mind.
Well, cats always get on the couch.
Well, how do you get this get started thing out of this article?
Oh,
For dang it.
cats give the law of physics a big stretch.
Okay, I don't need to read the article. I was going to show you an animated picture, but
Oh,
I have no choice but to hit get started, but I don't want to try 1 month of unlimited digital access.
Not today.
Oh.
Not now. Not now.
All right. Now, if I click it, does it go back and remember? No. It didn't do this on my other machine.
I like
No,
the
the
little
same
animated
app.
GIF, by the way.
Yeah, I can't get there because this thing is in my way at the bottom third of the
Really?
screen. But anyway, it's an article about
Yeah.
how researchers have been doing for like 120, 130 years, trying to figure out why cats always land on their feet when you drop them, or they jump, or they fall. And the laws of physics would seem to not apply because in order to start the twisting and torquing motion, you need something to twist and torque against. But the cats are actually using some of the more subtle laws of physics to get this done. Obviously, they're doing it, so they're not violating. It's like it's not crazy aliens from another dimension, as most people would claim.
Right.
But it goes through the steps of how they do this and the flexibility of their spines and when they pull their front legs in and when they pull their back legs in, and the tail even gets into the action. But the article goes on to discuss even more fascinating things about if a cat falls from like 1 to 2 floors up or 2 stories up to
Yeah.
5 or 6 or 7 stories. As they go up, obviously you think, oh, they're going to hurt themselves more because the impact is greater, etc. But you get past about 7, and the injuries actually tend to go down. Now, nobody's done any ethical clinical studies on this to say,
Yeah.
cat from 33 stories, take 1.
Right.
But they're using just clinical data that the vets see as these cats come in injured. And they said what happens is a lot of these cats, they reach their terminal velocity, which is an actual thing in physics. It's the fastest possible speed you can fall. Cats get, depending on the size of the cat and the shape and the fluffiness and whatnot, they get up to about 60 miles per hour or 100 kilometers per hour, roughly. And once they get that, they don't go anywhere beyond that. And they said, if you get up above like 7 stories, what they suspect is happening is in the lower falls, they're kind of freaking and they're panicking and their muscles are tensed. But once you get up to terminal velocity and you're in a free fall, you kind of like chill out and your
You
muscles are
chill
more
out.
relaxed. So when they impact, they're doing less damage. Kind of like, the story about people who are, not expecting a car crash versus the ones that are. If you
Right.
tense up, you get more injuries, similar to that. So I thought this was pretty fascinating from a standpoint of uh, what the one injury I couldn't quite figure out at first is they said, uh, the more serious ones are they could have organ injury because when you
Oh, a lot of
impact,
impact. Yeah, sure.
yeah, the organs get jarred around in the
Mhm.
body. Obviously, possible broken legs, but they said they also have a jaw injury as a common one they see from falling cats.
Well, I imagine because it doesn't move much. Be kind of stiff.
Well, I'm figuring when
Yeah.
they fall, a lot of the shock is taken up in their legs as they land, and their face is probably hitting too.
Well, I mean, think about you falling when you like grit your teeth before you hit the ground, maybe?
Yeah,
Or
but not strong enough to break my jaw.
no, but if you're gritting your teeth and then you hit the ground, it's kind of rigid. That's what I'm saying. Maybe, you know,
Yeah, but if you didn't grit your teeth, if you had space in there, you could either bite your tongue or
yeah.
slam the
Oh,
teeth together and shatter
yeah.
your teeth. I'm
Oh no.
figuring there's gotta be an impact involved because they're keeping their eyes down as they fall because they wanna see where the ground is,
Yeah.
and
Well,
the
tune in
chin is gonna be the first thing that hits.
yeah. Well, tune into the next episode. I got 4 cats here. I'm gonna do some research.
No,
Kidding.
please
I'm
don't.
kidding. I'm not doing do that. Anyway, you can see not a GIF, and the image that they had on the article where the guy I like how this guy's holding on to the
Yeah, this is
the
actually
sheet
the
and
the
let it
guy, the
go.
French guy in 1893, I think it was,
Yeah.
that dropped the cat, and he took these pictures because nobody believed, they're going, "How does this work? How do they keep flipping over and landing on their feet?" So this was his research.
Yeah,
No,
they
he's
do it.
only dropping them from, like, 3 or 4 feet.
And I remember in high school, I was at a friend's house. He says, "Yeah, this cat, he would throw his cat up a little bit," which
Mhm.
I thought, "What the hell are you doing?" But then the cat would you could kinda see the same thing in that image. The cat would do this kinda twist and land on all fours.
I
I'm
wonder
like,
if there's an age that the cats develop this instinct, or is it just, like, from the time they're kittens? You couldn't
I
take a 6-week-old kitten and
I
drop it
can't
and
imagine a
expect it
kitten
to
would
land
be
on.
like that because they're kinda uncoordinated like a puppy, you know?
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
like,
know.
at what age does this thing kick in?
Well, look how articulate you are. Now, were you like that at 5? I don't think so.
John Miller Jr. is quoting Pink Floyd here. "Hey, leave them cats alone."
Oh, hey, speaking of which, that
Yes.
reminded me.
You went to see
Last
Pink
night
Floyd?
no, yeah, Pink Floyd. Last night, we went to go see a band. I know you love karaoke, but
Yeah,
we
we
went
had a little, karaoke session over here last night with, like, 4 people.
well, we went to see a band last night. We were at a brewery, um, uh, in Hendersonville,
Mhm.
and the, uh, the band was pretty good. They were like a they I think at the name of the they played some Dead stuff and some Fish and stuff like that. Anyway, they played some Pink Floyd. It's like, all right, they're gonna play Pink Floyd. They did Breathe, and the guy was singing, and I noticed he was really working hard. He would move away from the mic as he's reading the lyrics, and he was working to turn the page so he could keep playing. I'm like, come on, man. That's just an upgrade for karaoke. Come on.
It's not how it works.
I was into the song because I love Pink Floyd, but I was like, dude, you should know the song. I told Kim, I said, I can get up there and sing this. I know this song.
That was one of the comments that we had last night too. You get some people like, "Have you even heard this song
I
before?"
know. Yeah, that's right. Oh my
It's like,
gosh.
work on something you could at least hum to by yourself.
Well, yeah, he's like, breathe in the air. I'm like, oh, come on, come on.
As long as he was having fun.
It was fun being outside. It was the brewery. They have a stage away from the like outside under the
Yes.
trees. So everything was kind of out by itself, and we met this nice couple that was there too, and it was a nice evening. So, but yeah, there was a couple of times he was singing by reading. I was like, come on, that's why we practice. That's why you practice as a band. Anyway,
All right. Speaking of music, very
yes,
appropriate for our next article. We're
yes,
still in the news section, ladies and germs. There's an article from Ars Technica on whether or not listening to music can influence our brain's activity. Now,
mm,
initially, I said, yes, of course it does.
sure,
You know, you can listen to some heart pumping music and do a good workout, or you can listen to something relaxing and read a book or fall asleep or whatever. So they go into, yeah, that's the common thought, but they did a little more science behind it. And I thought it was kind of interesting. At one point they said, uh, they identify the 4 different brainwave patterns: alpha, beta, theta, delta, and gamma. Okay, that's 5. Our
right,
our chief weapons are surprise. Never mind.
right,
I'm not gonna go into Monty Python. But they said, they use this term brain entrainment, and it's really hard to read that word and not say entertainment, but it's
hmm,
brain entrainment, works by having a person listen to music with 2 different frequencies using headphones. You
okay,
can have music at, say, 408 hertz and music at 400 hertz. Let me find that for you real quick. 400 hertz sound, because I had it right there. Very nice, pleasant tone.
Wah, 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 wah.
No, you can
Yep,
hear that, right?
yep, I can hear it.
Okay. Sounds like my ears ringing in the middle of the day.
Yeah,
And then 408 hertz frequency sound. It almost sounds exactly the same, but when you put the 2 together, sounds close, doesn't it?
hmm, yeah,
Listen to this. This is the 408, and then layered on it
I
is
can hear
400.
yeah, I can hear them both. Yeah, yeah.
Now, because they are, I'll stop before your earbuds explode.
Ah! I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I don't know if that's supposed to make you go to sleep or whatnot, but it makes sense because if you had, take it down to, you could hear there was that oscillation in there,
Mhm.
that resonance.
Yeah,
There were 8 beats per second because they are off by 400 to 408.
right.
Just out of curiosity, I said, what happens if you go 400 to 401? And you could hear this 1-second oscillation. Woo, 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 woo. Like, okay, this is making more sense now. And then I started playing around with some other frequencies. It was just kind of a fun experiment. So thank you
Yeah.
for this article. It was
What'd you
scientifically
use?
fun.
Audacity, or what'd you
No,
use
I
for
was
that?
just going to YouTube and typing in
Oh,
401 hertz.
of course. Yeah, of course.
Somebody has made a lot of frequency generators.
I bet if I went to YouTube right now, I bet I
Yeah.
could search for dial tone.
Oh yeah. Or any DTMF tone.
Yeah.
If you want to put together your own sound catalog, or we used to have a
Well,
modem dialing sound in
well,
our
I
in our
see some bands named dial
repertoire.
tone here, but yeah, I'm sure there's.
Yeah. Yeah. I was looking for a video about people smashing pumpkins, but all I got was the band.
Yeah, the band. That's right.
So there are scientists working on this. One is Mari Tervanimi at the where was she? Finland, Sweden, one of the Nordic countries that I'm not
Oh
finding.
yeah,
I probably should
I
put
don't
highlights in
recall.
here. But there are lots of questions, and one of them I thought was
It,
rather intriguing about, would it work on everybody? And they said no, because there are some people that suffer from a condition called, what is it? What is it? Was it? Dang it! I thought I had highlights on here all over the place.
mm,
But it's a condition where you can't really discern those tonal qualities. So if you said, "Hey, Craig, this is a great thing to listen to help you fall asleep and generate those theta waves or gamma waves or delta waves, whatever you're supposed to generate,"
right.
uh, it would not work on some of these people. It's the same kind of thing as like being colorblind. Like,
Mm,
oh, okay. Uh,
hmm.
yeah. So I thought it was
Well,
there's a lot of interesting information in here. I'm not sure I can draw any kind of conclusion from it.
that is interesting because there are times when we were at Dragon Con, I was try you had said you were sleeping to the
Basically white
no
noise.
yeah, well, no, no, no. Tell the listener what it was.
It's supposed to be, and it is not. It's supposed to be 12 hours of the engine noise from the Enterprise D.
Right.
It is not. There's no foom, 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 foom.
No,
It's
but if
just
you were
pretty
in
much
the ship somewhere, it would just be like a resonant. I don't
well,
anyway.
yeah, so you could have recorded this on an international flight to London too. It's the same
Right.
sound.
Well,
I
I've
I
tried
I've even tried that. On my last flight, I put this thing into it. Okay, and then take the earbuds out. Huh, sounds a lot like the plane. I'm not really
yeah.
blocking anything at this point.
Well, what I was gonna say was yeah, Mike Robeson said enterprise engine noise. So anyway, I tried going to sleep to that. I also tried going to sleep to a couple other things. And you know what? Lots of times I feel like it keeps me awake or at least engaged some part. So I don't feel like I really slept very well.
For if it's music, if it's all one thing, no, I kinda get bored with it and it just tunes
Music?
out.
No, I can't
Music
do music.
music can't be music that I know.
Mm-mm. No,
Go
it
look
can't.
up, like, Liquid Mind, it's very soothing. It's like what you listen to when you're getting a massage.
No, I'm not
And
talking about music. I don't. I would never listen to music. I
oh,
think
I
that'd be.
do all the time.
I mean, no. I mean at night, sleeping.
Yeah, I
Um.
do all the time.
Okay. Well, there's. I got this app called Lonofy, which is it uses AI to generate sounds for a certain environment. So you can say you can add and remove elements in like coffee shop, and it sounds like it's random. It doesn't sound like it's repeating over time. Things like that. Rain. It had water, and I tried to sleep to the kind of that.
See, I find rain is
Mm,
stressful for a couple reasons. Because 1, it makes me wanna pee, and the other is
flooding
yeah,
at Phoenix.
is the roof leaking? I can't sleep to rain, that's a
Well,
terrible sound.
I tried that. Couple of things. Anyway, the best thing I found was a fan, which I sleep with a fan as a
So you don't need to
Southerner.
generate
As
anything.
a good Southerner, like a lot of them around here, we sleep with box fan. So when no matter what season is, and I actually slept at Dragon Con. I slept with a fan sound. It said Grandma's back room, and it had like a fan. And sure enough, it was like this kind of reminds me of my grandmother's back room where I used to sleep, and it was kind of like that. So it worked.
The
But
one thing
it's
I cannot fall asleep to is somebody talking. You know,
oh
there
hell
was
no.
one, I think Steve Holden recommended an app on the phone one time, and it said, "Oh, this is, supposed to relax you." And it starts out with this, nice soft music, doo, 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 and then you hear the voice, "Now get into your favorite position to sleep. You know what it is." I'm like, "Shut up, I'm trying to sleep."
Shut up, brain. No, you other voice. Yeah, but on the flip side, during work, there are things I like to listen to that engage my mind for work. Um, I listen to a lot of electronic music sometimes, or sometimes the lo-fi kind of stuff.
Yes.
Um, the what do they call it? The chill hop, where it's there's no real words or anything. It's just
It
music.
depends how cognitive I need to be at that point. If I'm
Yeah.
trying to read something, no music.
Right.
If I'm
No.
trying
Yeah.
to, get deep into thinking of, how to solve a problem, no music. But if I'm doing something mindless like copy and paste stuff from one place to another over and over and over,
Yeah.
then yeah, fine, music is fine.
Yeah, but especially but regardless, I'm trying to at least concentrate on something. When you got lyrics in there, forget it. My brain's sitting there going, trying to, what are these people saying?
Michelle turns her brain turns rain into crackling fire. We had one like that too, because there was the sound when we would drop the kids off at one of the daycares they had when they were little. Um, they had sort of the auto flush toilets, and you could hear like rain coming down. It
Yeah.
sounded like applause. I mean, you could easily I even said to
Yeah.
the girls, I said, "Does that sound like someone's clapping over there? Like, there's 100 people clapping in the bathroom?"
Yeah. You know what?
So
A little
they'd be hanging up their coats every
yeah.
morning. All of a sudden, the bathrooms would flush. They
Hey.
go, "Yay!"
Yeah.
We're the only people cheering in the hallway. People go, "What's wrong with
Yeah.
some Aussie kids?"
Yeah, it's funny because white noise can easily be interpreted as anything. I mean, it could be leaves crunching, it could be water, it could, white noise can you can
How
easily
Foley out
imagine it.
that's how Foley artists work. It
Yeah,
just
you
has to
can
sound a lot like what you're doing.
yeah, and any white like I said, any white noise can be almost interpreted to just about anything or lots of things.
Okay, we're finally done with the news, people.
Ah,
Unfortunately,
thank
the
you.
rest of the show won't take this long because there's some videos that we're just gonna talk about.
Yeah.
Uh, in the Hacks and Strange Stories, as denoted by that sound, let me see if I can get this one. I can get some screenshots on there for you.
All right.
So we have AI portraying what some late rock stars would look like if they were still around. Well, I'm going to call shenanigans on a couple of these for obvious reasons.
I
Let
think
me
they
make
look pretty good, but yeah.
Oh, they're close. I mean, that is not Michael Jackson. That's more like
Oh,
Tito
no.
Puente.
You know what? That looks like Michael Jackson if he had none of
If
the
he
plastic surgery.
Yes, exactly. If he had stayed the
Just
course from, like,
natural. Yeah.
1982. So you know that this picture was based on something earlier in his career. I suspect his beard would be a lot grayer because he'd be in his mid-60s now?
Yeah, I also don't think he would be I don't get the feeling that he would be, that kind of organic, it'd be like, clean cut and I don't know. But yeah,
Or
I
you
mean,
don't think he'd have, like, the beard going thing right now?
well, he almost looks like a reggae kinda guy, with the larger afro, not
Yeah.
afro, not tight afro, but kinda loose with the beard. He
He's
looks a
got a
little
very
more
familiar face, though. I mean, not
Oh,
even as Michael Jackson. It's like, I swear I've seen this guy somewhere before.
yeah. I think it looks like Michael Jackson again. If he had s there was no plastic surgery,
Right.
this would have looked like this would
Okay.
have looked
Next one, Kurt Cobain.
I
He
mean, it looks
kinda
like
looks like
any
one of the lone gunmen from X-Files.
I know.
It's
Dean Haglund?
it's
Yeah,
Gene Haglund driving a bus.
yeah. Oh, so we had Kurt Cobain in our hotel room back in the day.
"Hi, hi, hi, I'm your bus driver, Kurt Cobain."
Yeah.
And then we've got, John Lennon. Now, I don't know, I'm
This
okay.
one's a little bit of a stretch.
You gotta remember that John Lennon he was born, like, 1944, 43, 45. He's somewhere in there, so he'd be coming up on 80 years old because he's about
Right.
the same age as McCartney. And, Paul McCartney has aged, and
He's
Lennon
born in 40,
often
by the way.
wore
He's
a
born in
beard.
40.
They could have put the round spectacles on him. I'm not sure where they came up with the hair, though. So, that's,
Yeah. It's
that one I don't see. This one I do. This is Jimi Hendrix. Now,
yes.
for those that are listening to the podcast, I apologize, but I really invite you to go to episode 687 of the show notes, episode 687, click through the show notes and look for the one that's about AI and artwork. Chuckchat.com is where you can find that. And give us your vote. This is just a fun, quick 30-second scroll going, yeah, yep, nope. Uh, it- Jimi Hendrix looks more like, oh, what was the guy's name from history?
Hmm?
Um, it wasn't George Washington Carver. It was, who I'm talking about though, right? It's like in the way back. Uh, ugh,
No.
I'm drawing a blank
I'm
from,
trying to
and
follow
I
you, man.
apologize to all my Black history friends. I can't think of the guy's name. He was was it the first guy that was killed in the American Revolution? Ah, it's driving me nuts. But yeah, just the way he's dressed looks like he's from the
Oh,
1700s.
yeah. Little
This
scarf.
also could be Prince.
No. It can be
The way he's
Prince.
dressed could be Prince. Now
Yeah.
Prince wouldn't be that old yet. Okay, and then we have, of course, Janis Joplin. This I can see.
Yeah, that's not a big stretch, yeah.
She had kind of that, 70s earthy feel and I know a lot of people that are about this age that look just like this.
Yeah.
This one I'm not buying. Freddie Mercury.
It just looks like a Photoshop.
It doesn't look like AI did much for him. It looks more like he could be, a
Oh,
corporate
here you go.
VP.
Were you
With the
talking about Frederick
suspenders.
Douglass? Were you talking about Frederick Douglass?
Frederick Douglass. Yes, thank you.
Yeah,
That's what I was trying to
'cause
think.
yeah,
Between
you
him.
the picture. He had like a what do you call that?
Yes, Amy
The
for the win.
thank
Let's go
you.
back. This is Frederick Douglass.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, now you see it. Thank you, Amy.
Oh,
Freddie
actually,
Mercury.
by the way,
Freddie-
Paul Mackey said the same thing.
Oh, thank you, Paul.
Yeah.
Paul's our latest Patreon patron. Well, we got like a whole group of them in here tonight. This is just way too much fun. You people who aren't watching the live stream, you're missing out on a lot. And we
Yeah.
try not to do a lot of pictorial stuff and video stuff, but invite you to go look at these. I'm not buying the Freddie Mercury thing here. He looks sort of like Tom Selleck.
Well, I'm not buying the next one either.
Okay, the next
Hey,
one
wait a minute.
is Elvis. Oh, heck no. All they did is they took like 50s Elvis, added a few wrinkles around the eyes, and turned his hair
Yeah.
white. Like,
I mean, it looks
he
like
was on like not Weight Watchers. I don't know what the opposite of Weight Watchers was, but whatever that is,
Hey,
the peanut butter and
look.
banana sandwiches.
This Elvis right here. Yes, it looks like a plausible old man, but it's not. I mean, the Elvis we know before he passed away, he'd have to work out and get his weight down to look like this again.
Yes.
There's no
If
way. There's
and
no
some of these, yeah, you're with me on that one.
Yeah.
Tupac.
I guess that would look like, yeah.
I don't. I maybe. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna let that one go because I can't. I don't know his face well enough when he was alive. Bruce Lee. No. No, I'm just going. No, that. Yeah, I can kind of see the smile.
Yeah,
But I just.
maybe right in the middle of the face, but that's about it.
I don't know. This guy in this picture doesn't look quite Asian enough for me. And then finally, Heath Ledger.
That looks
Wait.
plausible.
That's plausible because he's not that much older than when he died. I mean, he passed away 15 years ago. When did he die?
Oh my gosh, when did he? Heath Ledger. Let's see, he died in, yeah, wow, 2008. Yep.
Okay, so you don't have to do that much extrapolation. It's like they're trying to do Heath Ledger at 95. Okay, well, that was fun. Thank you, Craig.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right, and I hope everybody who's listening to the podcast, or both of you, actually go and check out the link.
Yeah.
And
both of you.
now it's time for the shout out for the chat room because we've had some wonderful participation in here tonight. And thank you, everybody who has shown up and made some comments. We have John Miller Jr., we've got Mike Robeson, some familiar names. Michelle is back. Thank you, Michelle. Who else? We had Amy pipe
Yep.
up and
Amy
Paul
Bowen.
Mackey. We mentioned Paul Mackey, our newest member. Not seeing Clinton around this evening, but
No.
so somebody's out there that's not making any comments. Just give us the waving hand emoji or something to say, hi, I'm here.
Yeah.
You can join this crazy band of characters on Sunday nights at 9:30 Eastern time. We'd love to see you. Go over to our Facebook page or YouTube. We do both. We're getting comments from both sides of this thing too. It's kind of fun. So like when Paul says, where's the other chat room?
I'm gonna tell him right now, Paul.
They're having a chat on the live stream in Facebook. So just look for Technorama Podcast there. Okay. So you can do either or. It's neat. We see both. I'm sure there's kind of like some people are seeing one and not the other.
Yeah.
So love to
we
see
can
you.
see them all, but that's great.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. All right, quickly to the Remember When. We've got a few things we want to try to remember before we get to be generated by AI.
Yeah. And we talked about this before on
Yes.
on Topic is Trek. I think maybe even on this show.
I think we did on this show too. I'm gonna throw a quick picture up there again, real quick.
Yeah, this is the device that you've probably seen in every science fiction.
Not every, but a lot of them.
I mean, in the 70s and 80s, sure, you've probably seen it about everything from Knight Rider to Star Trek, The Last Starfighter. It was in Airplane 2, Austin Powers.
Yeah,
it's
even made a few appearances in Lower Decks. They drew it in.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. I feel so stupid for missing it. Like, oh man.
But it's actually called the most important device in the universe due to its ubiquity in modern productions. And there was a prop house that actually built this along with a bunch of other sci-fi props. and it got used and used and used again. Whenever a production needed something, but they didn't want to build it themselves, they would shuttle it right on in.
And there's
And
been
so
some
back then,
modifications to it too. Like the if you're looking at the video, there's two like handles across the top.
yeah,
Those have been replaced with just like big blunt black knobs. In one scene, the guy's supposedly turning these to adjust this useless machine in the universe.
yeah. So they were just actually there were this article. The reason we're bringing this up is this article was talking about the actual timer, electronic timer that they were using for this. Was a it was a 555 timer, which I'm not familiar with, but
I've heard of it. I haven't
yeah,
used it.
yeah. But they were talking about that's all it was really, is just some plastic components with this tube going between it, just rotating the lights.
Well, there was more to it than just say, hey, a 555 ran the whole thing because the 555 was just the timer chip.
Yes. Well, yeah,
So
right.
they get into it a little deeper. It says nobody's really sure what the most important device does, aside from the fact that it has red lights that go back and forth. What we do know, thanks to a comment by the man who installed the electronics, Mr. Gene Turnbow, is how it's powered. Gene explained that a 45-watt NPN powered transistors drive the neon tubes through step-up transformers. The transistors themselves are connected to a 74C4514 demultiplexer, which itself is driven by a 7943 binary counter. What's the 7493 driven by? Boom, you guessed it, the venerable 555 timer. And so it's been that 555 timer that runs the most important, wait, we should do that with reverb, the most important device in the universe. That's why we have special effects.
Yeah.
Hopefully
I think I remember seeing this in like Buck Rogers or and stuff like that. Yeah, it's been on everything.
I think it's
Anyway,
kind of fun, and I always forget to look at it, and then when they come up with these highlight reels, you go, "Oh, I watched that. How did I miss it?"
wasn't it even on the newer Battlestar Galactica?
Go watch the whole series over again, and you can tell me.
I'll just do a Google search.
Okay.
Image search.
We also have another video. Are you ready for the internet? It's a 1994 video from, I think it's from the BBC. And it almost sounds like at times this
Yeah.
lady is bagging on the UK for
Yeah.
not having up-to-date
Oh.
technology.
There's no email address to get to the Prime Minister.
Right.
Yeah.
We emailed Bill Clinton and we got this response back from email almost
was-
immediately.
Which was a form letter.
Yeah, it was an autoresponder. She's thrilled to get an autoresponder message, but
Yeah,
hey,
that was funny.
but it was pretty visionary at the time. This was made in 1994, and she's
Yep.
talking about online shopping. Well, there was no Amazon in 94. And she's talking about video on demand. There was no Netflix or any streaming that happened back then.
Yeah.
So it was pretty visionary. Yeah, because usually when people talked about the internet in the early days, it was like you track your recipes, check your stocks, and look at what the weather is before you go outside.
Yeah.
So
remember,
there were pretty rudimentary use cases, but this one had some better ones in it. I
And
thought.
this was from 94.
Yeah, that's
So
what I
that's
said.
actually pretty forward looking,
Mhm.
I think, for 94, especially. And because I remember like was it around 97, 98, I was using like QuickTime Player to listen to a baseball game, which
Ooh.
I don't really listen to. I'm not really a baseball fan, but I remember seeing it. I clicked on it and listened to it.
Outcast,
How
Real
cool it was.
Player. I think Real Player was around about 97 also.
Yeah, QuickTime, Real Player. All right, not QuickTime. Yeah, it was Real Player. Was doing
Live
the baseball.
365.
I think Real Player, they had a contract with the baseball to broadcast the games, I think, for a while there. Anyway, I remember listening to that thinking, wow, this is awesome. How can it get any better than this? And then of course YouTube
I
comes
can
out.
get a radio station from a long way away without hooking up a shortwave and a 50-foot
Yeah.
antenna to my
Well,
house.
And then the other night I don't really care for NFL pretty much. I like college football better. But I watched the Browns play on Amazon Prime.
Mhm.
I thought, I want to see how this looks. And it was
It's
like a
pretty good.
broadcast game. Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
So
So there are some comedic moments looking back going, ooh,
her hair.
yeah. All the old Mac 2 LCs or whatever they were, they had a lot of them. And
They had a
then
lot of Macs in there, I think.
we
Yeah.
we had to download this video before the show started because it's so slow. Everything was dial up. So,
Yeah, that was her point, was everything was slow.
yeah.
And looking at she was like talking about ordering the flowers, and she goes, and I have to put my credit card information in. Like, okay, that's a concern.
Well, she didn't say it was a concern because a lot of
Yeah.
people didn't know back then. I mean,
Yeah.
there was little to no HTTPS. Like,
Do you know what I told people to do? A long time ago when they were like, I'm not sure if I should buy anything off the internet. I'm not sure. I don't feel comfortable putting my number on there. I was like, why don't you get a second account with a debit card and just put a few bucks in there and order your stuff? That was my advice early on, was just put 100, 200 in there and then buy your stuff, because if they get your credit card number, that's all they're going to get. That was back in that's back in like 98, 99. John Miller Jr. was there. He knows. He used to work. I think I mentioned this. He used to work at the same ISP I did, or
Mhm.
I owned. I was part owner.
We're not going to talk whether or not you had a beard at that time.
I don't think I had a beard at that time. It was a long time I didn't have one.
All right, let's move along on the show. We're coming up on an hour already. We still have a few
Whoa.
more things to talk about.
All right.
So this is our thank you section. We'll go through this quickly. Thank you to our patrons. You are the people that make this show possible financially. You pay for the bandwidth and the hosting and the software upgrades and everything else. Thank you. Thank you. We have expenses coming up like keeping StreamYard going, which has been a wonderful success over the last year.
It has. Actually, I love it.
Extend our annual.
It makes it easy for me to do stuff like this.
Well,
Show
I was
banner.
watching an older video. Facebook said, here's what happened like 4 years ago. I'm like, Craig's audio is out of sync.
Oh my gosh.
We
Yeah.
we really grappled with a lot of technology issues over the year, but this makes it
Skype.
easy.
Oh
and
my gosh.
Thank you. Thank you for making it easy, and thank you for improving the quality of our broadcasts. Thank you to Alexis Duran, Amber Elstad, Amy Bowen, who's online tonight, Abner Braverman, Ben Vaughn, Brian Brown. He was in the video that I was watching this with,
Yep.
so I know it was when he lived here. Chris Martinez, Chris MC. For some reason, I looked 10 years younger 4 years ago. I'm not sure what happened there. Dan, probably COVID. Dan D-Man Coyer, Dean Jensen, Denise Inglis, Gary Lindros, thank you very much. John Clifford, John Noble, Yorga Schrowen, Crazy Joe. That takes care of our J's. Getting to the KLMN, it's Kyle Nishioka, Leon, Mark Kilfoyle, Matt Baum, Mike Wills, newest patron, Paul Mackey. Thank you. He's online tonight as well. Grant Pachoco, a.k.a. Saturday Morning Media. Stephen Weshy, happy birthday to you, buddy. Steve Therian, Steve Cody, Steve London, and Tim Cook, not the Apple Tim Cook.
And sweet Tim Cook.
And as I look at this, I noticed since Paul Mackey joined, our table is full.
Oh.
It's
gotta
4x7. So
You know what that
we're
means?
we're out to disrupt Craig's OCD again. He likes this
you gotta start a new
4x7 layout.
Yeah.
Let's make it 4x8 and only fill up like 3 more.
Gotta
That
start a
one
new
extra
road.
box will drive him nuts.
That's right. No.
If you want to join, if you want to start getting on Craig's nerves again, you go over to other one. There it is. Patreon.com.
Yeah, let's just go through them all.
The
There you go.
podcast. Yep. No, don't. You're going to give somebody a seizure.
That's right.
Patreon.com/Technorama podcast. Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody. Stop that music. And we get into Pass the Remote. We're going to have to move through this fairly quickly.
By the way, in the Geek Library, I think we can skip that last article.
I'm going to do my first one. I watched a show on Netflix called Travelin' Band, Creedence Clearwater Revival at the Royal Albert Hall.
Traveling band. Yeah.
I was thinking more of the Beatles song that, now we know how many holes it takes to fill the Albert Hall.
Right.
Interesting little documentary. I'll say it's very long because pretty much the whole second half is the concert from Royal Albert Hall.
Really? Okay.
No, it's more like 2/3 of it is. And the ending is like this 12-minute version of Chuglin, which is their closer.
So it's not really a documentary, but like a concert movie.
It kind of is. It talks about, how they got started, this little high school band, and, they kind of worked on it when John and Doug both went in the service for a few years, in Vietnam and came back, and they while they were there, the Beatles kind of took off, and they went, "Well, we want to do that too." And there was some serious, not really competition, but kind of friendly rivalry for that top spot for the album chart in the
Yeah.
US and the UK. And they were really prolific for a number of years. I didn't realize they did like 3 top 10 albums in a year and 10 singles. It's like, holy crap, they were all over the place. So
Yeah.
uh and lo and behold, if you thought they were from like Louisiana swamp country, they were not.
Yeah. No, they weren't. Yeah.
They're from California, not the swamp, but they kind of perfected that sound and that genre, uh, and that became their thing. They were very recognized for, "Born on the Bayou,"
Yeah.
"Proud Mary," a
Yep.
lot of river and swamp songs.
Oh, I love Credence. They're great.
Yeah, a lot of fun. So, Traveling Band, if you wanna watch that, give it a listen. But
Oh,
be
where's it
prepared,
at?
it'll Huh? Netflix.
Oh, I didn't see it in your.
Oh, did I forget that? Yeah, both of my entries tonight are from Netflix.
Okay.
The other one is called A Sinister Sect.
I thought it was Sister Act, and that was going to be with
No,
Whoopi Goldberg.
no.
Okay, sorry.
It's that is the main title. The secondary title is called Colonia Dignidad. It's
Okay.
about a group of Germans who decide to follow this guy to
Hmm.
Chile, and they sort of set up their own little, not cult, but campus might be a better word. And this guy had some serious issues, as otherwise the show wouldn't be very interesting.
Yeah.
Uh, the outward appearance to the
Hey,
community,
2/3 of it was a concert, and then they kind of
no, 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 no.
encapsulated
Like
it.
they set up a hospital, and the community goes, "Great, we got a hospital nearby. This Paul guy, he's really nice. He's doing something
Yep.
for the community." Meanwhile, behind this, they came over and set up camp in 1961, and this he passed away, or he got ousted, or whatever it was, in like 2005. The whole time, he was doing some pretty nasty stuff because the whole uh, uh was it Pinochet? The government was changing and changing over. It's like, "Hey, now we're communists. Now we hate the communists. Now we," you know,
Right.
and he was ingratiating himself into the government. So anytime something bad happened, and he was a bad dude, like all these people went disappearing, and their relatives go, "Where's the bones of my brother?" kind of thing. Very fascinating story. I think it was a six-parter. They like a lot of these documentaries, they're longer than they need to be. But, I found it interesting that the saddest fact about this was this guy was a child molester, and, a number of the boys came forward, but it
Right.
wasn't until, like, what was it, 1996 or 97 that, 2 teenage boys actually busted out and went to the authorities and said, "Alright, we got him now." And, one tried, but he got hauled he literally got kidnapped back to the camp and, was threatened, so he would have to change his story, go, "No, no, 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 everything I said was false." So it was very sad in a way.
Hmm.
The place is still there. I looked it up on Google Maps. They still work as a tourist community.
Right.
Just, I think they just brought back Oktoberfest, like, after being shut down for COVID and whatnot. So
Right.
it's still there. It's in pretty remote area intentionally, so this guy could do his dirty deeds away from
Wow.
everybody else. But yeah,
Man.
it's, I I'm getting into some dark stories on Netflix, and the algorithm isn't helping me get out of that funk. It was like, "I am a criminal." It's like, "Okay, let's watch that."
Yeah.
"Hitler's top henchman." Let's watch that too.
Right. You're scraping the bottom of the barrel for documentaries.
Well, a lot of these I'm also going, "I already watched this." Why doesn't Netflix, like, put a check mark or something on things you've watched? That is so annoying. It's like, "I think I
That would be
watched
nice.
this."
Say, oh, this is already watched. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, "You watched this 2 years ago. Put it in the dang profile or something." Uh, that bothers me more than anything because
Well, like on
maybe
YouTube,
if
you
they
see the
did that,
red
I'd have too
line.
many check marks and I wouldn't wanna
Yeah.
subscribe to Netflix. Like, I finished Netflix.
Right. Well, even on YouTube, you see the red line under videos you've already seen. So
Yes.
yeah, you can kind of figure that out.
Okay, those are my two. What do you got, Sister Act?
I have actually the DVDs. The disc is right here. Let me pull it up. It's the unbearable weight of massive talent with
Oh,
the
we could
Nicolas
have
Cage
written
movie.
this.
Huh?
Oh, I thought this was about us.
Yeah, it was about us. No, it's about Nicolas Cage. Harrison had bought that. I don't know why he bought it, um, but yeah, Kim and I watched it the other night, and she does not a Nicolas Cage fan.
Mhm.
I'm somewhat of a fan, but after watching that, I was like, that was really a clever movie because he goes, see, he's like at a point in his career, he's like, I think he misses out on a part, and then this guy had called his agent and said, "Hey, I would like Nicolas Cage to show up on my birthday," and so somebody willing to give a bunch of money for him to show up. He's like, "All right, fine, I'll do the birthday party." And he goes, and it turns out it looks like it's a drug lord, and he's enamored with Nicolas Cage, and Nicolas Cage gets wrapped in to the story that's going on around the compound. It's actually a lot of fun. So I totally love this movie. I thought it was great. So I can recommend the unbearable weight of massive talent, and it's a fictionalized version of Nicolas Cage.
Okay.
Not he says he says it's fictionalized as very little that actually is reflective on me, but yeah, that's it. And so yeah, it was really good.
All right, we do have one more thing in the geek library,
Hmm.
but we're gonna just touch on it lightly. I invite you again. Go to show 687 show notes,
That's right.
chuckchat.com/technorama. This is this is an article about quantum tunneling and how it can make DNA more unstable. Wouldn't that
Mm.
better be written as less stable? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think so.
But there's evidence that shows there's a lot of quantum tunneling that's happening inside our DNA structure,
Mhm.
like to the tune of 1,000 times what they predicted. What's happening is there's like the theoretical model incorporated the quantum effects to allow a proton bound to the base of cytosine. So your CTGA in DNA, cytosine,
Yep.
guanine,
Yep.
um, anyway, the
Zine.
magazine,
Yeah.
canine. No,
Okay.
that'd be dog
Right.
DNA. What happens is if it doesn't happen at the right time or quantum tunneling impacts it, the C could get bound to an A, which is not normal. C and G always go together.
And
And
you
I went,
turn into a
oh,
fly.
adenine. That's the other one. And somebody's probably going to tell me what the T stands for.
Turn into Brundlefly.
Well,
Brundlefly.
they call these altered base pairs tautomers. So there's a whole lot more of them, and I didn't really get a call to action or what they learned from all this, but what I got out of it is, hey, if the body is really good at detecting and repairing these much faster than we thought, because they're happening much faster than we thought, there
Yep.
may be other science that we can leverage out of that to perhaps catch the ones we're not catching and maybe prevent cancer. Now, they didn't make that statement. That was something that I thought of. So keep at
Oh,
it, dear scientists.
right.
And if the
Yeah,
readers
that's
are
a
so
freebie for
interested,
you.
yep,
That's a free if
freebie.
you're listening.
Yeah, we may have just Technorama may have just solved cancer.
Yeah, wouldn't that be awesome?
Watch, we'll find a follow-up article in a couple weeks.
Yeah. Two
All right,
researchers listening to a podcast.
we're gonna leave you. Yeah, I don't play a doctor on TV either. Question of the week this time as we leave you for this episode, and we will put this on social media. If we don't, Steve London will come after us again.
Yeah,
But here's
right.
my question of the week. It's the most important. It's like the highlight of his week. This week, we're saying in 50 years, what do you think people will be nostalgic for?
Owning things.
Technorama.
No, I think owning things. You know, in 50 years be like, "Honey, did you renew my subscription for my liver?"
I was waiting for the last word of that sentence with bated breath. I really was. That was well
Ah.
played. Okay. I was thinking more like cats and dogs, but liver would be the liver is better.
Honey, my liver's acting up. Did you renew the subscription?
No, but I'll order you a new one on Amazon.
All right, good. Yeah,
Oh
I
wait,
think I
they
think
don't they don't they don't sell them. They just lease them
I
again.
think everything's going to be a subscription model. That's right.
Can't say I can't say anything bad about it. It keeps us employed.
Well, we do live off a subscription model, so to speak.
Yeah. Did you get? Hey, maybe that's what I'll call Social Security when I get old. It's my subscription to the government paycheck.
I think at that point you're the subscription model.
Well, no, they're paying me. So
Yeah.
well, wait. What are they
Yeah.
subscribing to me for? What service am I providing?
It's what you have provided. That's the thing.
That's not how subscription services go.
I know. I don't know.
Otherwise, I wouldn't pay Google for like another 50 years.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, let's
Well,
get out of here.
my email's been free for
I think we've been
50
done.
years, it feels like.
Please let us know what you think of the show. If you want to give us any comments or feedback on this particular one, maybe you've solved cancer. Maybe you've got a cat that doesn't land on its feet. Let us know. You can call the listener line at 707-530-2428. We'd love to hear from you. Or you could text that number. I don't think anybody's even tried that yet.
I'm daring somebody to try it.
Okay.
Try it.
Technorama at chuckchat.com is the email address you can send that to. We will get that. And hopefully the motor and the louvers thing will be worked out by next week. We'll let you know.
There you go. John Miller Jr. says, thanks, patrons. You're the horse that makes the glue that holds the show together.
Yikes.
Sort of. Yeah.
I'm not sure what happened there. Anyway, Craig, you know what to do. Give us a binary high five.
All right. 101.
Take care, everybody. Thanks. Audio recording has been terminated at this point. So thank you very much once again, everybody who joined us on the live stream. A lot of fun, great comments, great discussion. Whether you were on Facebook or YouTube or wherever you were,
Yeah.
it was just a whole lot of fun. And Craig and I are going to stop the live stream at this point and go record our Patreon show. I did make a few notes during the week, carry them forward, and then Craig says, I've got some ideas tonight too. So
yeah.
Can't tell you if it's going to be a 10-minute thing or a 30-minute thing.
Well,
It's
one
sort
of them I
an
think we already
informal
talked about, and that was the band singing from the lyric sheet. So disappointing, man. I love Pink Floyd. And it's like he was scrambling to turn the page and it wouldn't turn. I'm like, oh, come on.
money.
Yeah. I love to
It's
warm up.
good.
I love to warm my bones beside the fire.
So I wish you were here.
Yeah. That's pretty much it. Yeah.
We're just two lost souls swimming in a fishbowl. Year after. What rhymes with the year? Year.
Yeah.
Can write the dang song faster than that guy could sing it. All right. I don't know what happened. I shouldn't pick on him for that. We all have our talents.
No, it was kind of funny, but
okay.
It sucks because I was in that mode. I had about 2 beers in. I'm like kind of just enjoying the music. I'm like, I'm struggling with this one because I can get up there and sing it. But I didn't.
No.
I'm gonna rush the stage.
We've heard your karaoke, Craig.
Yeah, take the mic from the guy.
All right. We've heard your karaoke, Craig.
Hey, I didn't say I could sing. I never did.
You did say, you said I could sing it.
I could sing it. I didn't say well.
Okay. You said it, not me.
Roger Waters' job is safe. Him and David Gilmour, they're safe.
David Gilmour, yeah.
They're safe.
All right. Take care, everybody.
All
Have a
right.
wonderful week. We'll talk to some of you in a few minutes.
That's right.
Bye.